Should be and featuring.
Sorry.
I see a picture.
All right, you guys. We are live. All right, you guys. We want to welcome everyone to EverQuest Next podcast. It's September 18th, 2013. And it's weird right now because I can hear myself.
Strange. That is a weird feeling, isn't it? Who's talking? That's me. Are these the voices in my head? Continue on, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I fixed it. But anyways, I have with me here Cannon and Liette, and I'm Dashiva. I want to welcome everyone to our Debuffed podcast about EverQuest Next. And so I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dashiva. I'm part of the Grievance Gaming Guild for EverQuest Next. I'm here just as a player. My interest in EverQuest Next is because I've played EverQuest pretty much my entire life. EverQuest 1 for about 5 or 6 years, and EverQuest 2 the same. And so I'm here just as a fan, and I enjoy EverQuest. I love it. And so, but I'm here with two great people. One, Liette, she's going to be our XO in our EverQuest Next guild, and I have Cannon, who is a...
It's me.
Yeah, that's him. And he kind of has a different point of view because he's not necessarily a EverQuest fan, but has dabbled in EverQuest. And so he doesn't have that same point of view as maybe me and Liette do. But Liette, as your role of XO in EverQuest Next, what's moved you to want to be our executive officer for EverQuest Next? Did you get forced to?
I have been told multiple times that I am Steel's XO for life. So, there's a certain level of, well, that's your job, surprise, and a level of, well, of course I want to play this game, and who else would I be with aside from Grievance? And I work really well with Steel. He's also my business partner in Grievance Global Gaming LLC. Woohoo! And yeah, that was something I just jumped on right off the bat. And I'm super excited for it. It's going to be a huge guild. We've got so many people excited about this game, and I'm excited to help lead it.
Yeah, I know. It seems like there's so many people just waiting for this, and so they're not playing anything right now, but they're just waiting for EverQuest Next or even EverQuest Landmark to come out. And so, as far as your background with EverQuest, how did you get started?
Well, way back in the dark ages when I was about 15, I had a friend mention to me that, oh, you can do anything you want in this game. It's awesome. You can build boats and like spaceships and rockets and stuff. Now, he was 13-ish.
Okay.
And he watched his cousin play the game. So, but he told me, oh, you've got to try out this game. It's called EverQuest. It's great. You know, they've got dragons and stuff. And I'm going to build a boat and I'm going to be rich. I'm going to build a boat. So I'm like, okay, I'll build a boat with you. I will chop down some trees and stuff. So I got in the game, and I couldn't chop down trees, but I could chop down bats, and it was really... and my character lived around Felwith and Kelethin, because of course I had to make a high elf, because, you know, they were pretty, they had a dress and stuff, and you could do their hair. So that's what I made. I was a cleric, of course, because I always play a healer, and that's what I was. And I was running around, and my very first encounter, as it were, aside from the bats, was a guy who just ran up to me and said, hey, follow me, I've got something for you. And me being my innocent self at 15 was like, okay, and I ran after him. He took us to the bank, and he fully outfitted my character. I was decked. He told me I had a nice rack, put him on my friends list. I did, and off I went.
Is that how you get on your friends list?
By the way, you have a nice anyway.
Yeah, nice pixels, baby. No, no, my criteria got a lot higher once I hit EQ2. By then, at least I was in college, and 18 going on 19 when it released, and it was a great game. I started off in that guild leading, and happily joined Grievance in 2006, and stayed in it for another couple years. It was fabulous and wonderful game. Still is, and it still looks fabulous. It's really topped by EverQuest Next, though. I'm a visuals girl. You know, I picked my first EverQuest character based on her pretty hair. So, looking at this game coming out, I'm super excited.
All right, cool.
Hey, it's important, man.
Sorry, I'd be there going, look at my beard. Big old dwarven beard.
Even the women have beards, as we now know.
Oh yeah, will you be a female dwarf with a beard, Ken?
Yeah, Ken, you can be female with the beard.
Yeah, there we go. Female. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to be, as a female dwarf. Yes. Hey, ladies. Oh, shoot.
And so, Ken, for you, your experience with EverQuest, what kind of background do you have with EverQuest? Both games, if you want to talk about them.
I started out playing EverQuest back in the day. You know, it'd been out for about a year, I think, before I went and I tried it out. Because, you know, like Liette, I was young, not quite that young, but I was young. And I tried it out and everything. I really love the game. I love going in that one area and, you know, seeing that train to zone. You know, I walked in, I see train to zone across there, big bright red. I'm like, what's that? And then, oh, that's what it is. Kerplunk. So that was my first death in EverQuest, probably. But, you know, then I also found out about the elevators.
God.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Those.
People going, hey, you should do this. Oh, okay. Oh, these people aren't nice to me. But anyhow, I played for a while. You know, I think like her. I started out with an elf to start off with, but I really can't remember the class. Then I made a dwarf as a second tune, and then a paladin. I've always played paladin characters and everything like that. But I played EverQuest for a few months, and I never really found a group that I, you know, really matched well with and everything. So, you know, I lost interest, didn't have the people that I liked playing with and everything. So I moved on to other games, and EverQuest 2 came out, and I tried getting into that a few times. I started up Tune, I put it on the shelf for a few months, then come back and do it again. Like, actually, I just did that again a little while ago, but I have other things pulling me away. So, but now I'm in Grievance, and we're going to be starting fresh in the game. You know, just like everybody else is really what's going to pull me to it. Is because when I try EverQuest 2, I see everybody at that high level, and all I could think of is, I can't get there. So, so I'm looking forward to EQ Next, trying it out, seeing what we do, and I'm glad I'm going to be doing it with Grievance.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about when Liette was talking about when she first got in the game. One of my friends, he was telling me, oh, he said the same thing. You could do whatever you want in this game. Obviously, you couldn't. But at the time, for where games were, it seemed like he could do everything you wanted. And I remember logging in and finally getting in, and he had a barbarian, and he was in Everfrost. And I was like, where are you? He's like, just keep going. And then I found him, and he had like 6 or 7 like gnolls and like wolf pups like surrounded him, like all dead. And he's like, I did this. And then from that point on, I was like, you could do this in the game? And I was like, okay, I must play this game. And so ever since then, I've been playing EverQuest and EverQuest 2, and now it's time for EverQuest Next. And so we look forward to getting in the game as a group, as a guild. We can all play together. And so we invite everyone, if they don't have a guild yet, to come join us here at Grievance. And so as far as for news this week, we had the September producers letter from Terry Michaels. He just had a few things to say because they've had a busy month after the reveal and going to Gamescom and PAX. And so we have that video here for us, and we'll play that really quick to see what he has to say.
Woot!
Hello everyone, I'm Terry Michaels. I'm the senior producer of EverQuest Next and EverQuest Next Landmark. And now that we're done with that whirlwind of August that was our debut in Gamescom and PAX, I wanted to take a minute to chat about what you guys can expect in the near future. As we mentioned many times in the past, we're extremely excited about engaging the players, you guys as part of the development team, in helping us make EverQuest Next and EverQuest Next Landmark better than they could be if we did it by ourselves. So for the next month, we're going to be talking mainly about Landmark itself, because this winter is soon, and we need to make sure that information is out there so you guys can give us your opinions as we're building this game. We're going to be talking about 2 particular topics. They're both focused focused around the world and how it's created. One of those topics is going to be globetrotting, which is all about how the continents are created, how they're put together, how you can go out and claim part of it as your own, and how you're going to interact with the world in many different ways. The second one is break it, take it, make it, and that's all about how you go out and collect resources and find objects and find crafting stations and the different areas and the environments that you can go through in the world. So that's going to be the first things we're going to talk about as far as Landmark goes. But we're also going to be talking about some of the stuff for EverQuest Next, of course. We have the roundtable where we're talking about both games, and hopefully you guys are participating in that and giving us your opinions, because that's how we're going to make this game better. We're also going to be releasing a new lore story that comes earlier in the history of the world than the two we've released previously. This one's all about the events that lead up to the creation of Ashfang, which is a new zone, a new area inside of EverQuest Next. And it's told from the perspective of a dwarven thief and how his actions affected the change in the world. It also involves the Shissar and the elves, which we know everybody likes. Anyway, that's what we'll be talking about over the next month. So hopefully you'll join us and tell us your opinions. And thanks for coming along. We'll talk to you next month.
Wow, that echo.
Who had their sound on during that video? Oh no, I thought so. Okay.
I'm sorry. I had to hear it.
It's like, oh, and I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry.
So if you can hear what Terry was talking about, he mentions that their focus is on getting our thoughts, and so we've had the round table. They've had different discussions, and they're trying to seem like they want to know what we want, so they can change the game to the game that we want them to build. And so, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that these roundtable questions or different discussions they've been having, do you think it's going to affect the game much from what they say it's, or what they're making it sound like it is?
Well, a lot of it's just aesthetics with, for example, dwarven beards. Do you want the ladies to have facial hair too? And what races, that kind of thing. Of course, I think the race question is just to tell them, oh, what we're really looking forward to in the first expansion. But maybe that's just me. And then they have more serious questions, like what kind of tools do we want available for Landmark? And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I hope that they're listening. I really do. And as with my stance on most everything to do with the game, I will remain cautiously optimistic that indeed it will really, really have an impact. But, that has yet to be seen. We'll see what the tool set looks like in Landmark and whether we have gnomes or not, and I'll know whether I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So,
Gnome punting. I myself, I see him taking, talking to the community and stuff like that, but I think they have an idea of what they're going to have, and I just think that, like she said, it's just going to be the aesthetics, and it's what they're asking from us is going to really have not much meaning to the game overall. It'll just be window dressing more than anything else. So, I hope that they take all our ideas, and I'd love to see a whole great portion of them get put into the game, but I think they have it pretty down pat what they want, and maybe we'll see it in future expansions, but at the start I don't think we're going to see it right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of think the same thing. It's like, oh, they're going to put up this question, and okay, we got to change the design of our game because a few people that voted on our website thought that this should be that way. But as Liette was saying, it's kind of just it's visceral kind of things. It's like, okay, beards, or do you want more tools or less tools? And so they already have all these tools. They just have to decide how much of it they're going to give us, or what are they going to do with it, or are they going to make this mob out in the open world, or are they going to make them in an instance area? And so it's little things that we can change that I feel that might have an impact, but I don't know about anything major. But it's hard to tell because we don't have a game yet and everything, and so maybe down the road we'll be playing this game and they'll have a question come out, and then, like you said, the expansion, all of a sudden these changes come, and it's what everybody voted or what everybody wanted. And my phone's going off. Wow.
I was going to say, I'm not calling you, man. I'm already talking to you.
So yeah, but he mentioned that winter is coming. And he's not talking about Game of Thrones. He's talking about EverQuest Next Landmark. And so that's the next game that's coming out. EverQuest Next Landmark is coming out before EverQuest Next, and this is going to be coming out soon. It's coming out this winter, and so obviously their focus is going to be on EverQuest Next Landmark. And so they talked about two topics. He mentioned one, globe trotting. And so they're gonna, yeah, exactly, like that. If you can see how canon was, that's exactly how they're gonna do it in EverQuest Next. And so he talked about how they're gonna discuss how the world is put together, how they're gonna get around, like the continents, how to claim part of it as your own, and how to interact with it. And so we're gonna just, I think, in the next few weeks, find that out. But the one I was mostly interested was the second thing he mentioned. He said, break it, take it, and make it. He talked about going out, collecting resources and objects, finding crafting stations, and different areas and environments in the world. And so for you guys, how do you feel about, because you think of the destructibility and you think of like destroying maybe a mountain or a tree. How do you think all that's going to affect collecting resources and crafting? What can you just kind of guess gathering resources is gonna be like in EverQuest Next?
I sure hope the trees grow fast, because if not, we're really screwed. Is my first reaction. My second is, well, if they handle it like they suggested they did in game and use it like a body decay where things come back slowly, I think that'd work. They'd mentioned at one point during SOE Live, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which point, that after you destroy stuff and take it out, it will slowly regenerate, as it were.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'd like my tree back in a few hours, thanks. I think that could be easily exploited in some cases, but I like the idea of being able to find a hill that's just kind of in my way and taking that crap down and maybe finding some good stuff in there and, I don't know, building me a hill-sized igloo or whatever I feel like. So.
So, Cannon, the destructibility in the environment, they did mention that you're going to be able to dig down different levels. And so,
yeah,
for gathering, what dynamic do you think that's going to add?
I see the 7th level of hell coming up. I'm digging. I think it's going to be crazy. They say just in the game itself, they say as you get more people in the area, it's going to regrow faster. But I'm worried about strip mines. That's all I can think of is we're taking down the Amazon forest here and nothing's going to be left. And all I'm going to have is I'm going to have this beautiful castle surrounded by lava. First it fell down, then sank into the lava. So I built it again. That's a good
point. I wonder how much you can mess with other people. Oh, you built a castle there? Well, you know what? I'm going to build a spike trap underneath it, and I'm going to dig up. See how that goes, baby.
Yeah. That's a good thought. What if somebody built a tunnel underneath your castle? Does the castle collapse? That's a good possibility.
Yeah.
Or does your plot of land, you stake it, and you have your little flag hanging out there and it's yours. Does that go down every layer, or is it just the top layer? And if that is the case, do you have to worry about whoever has your subterranean basement taking you down via spike trap? These are things to consider with your real estate. I think this is a very big concern.
Yeah,
that is a concern.
It's like they made this such this huge world. It's like, okay, how is this all going to work? And so that's exactly what they said they're going to talk about in the next month, is kind of explain to us how this is going to work, because we see what we have, but none of us have any idea of how it's going to work. And so to me it seemed a little confusing, because I'm like, okay, if you need lumber, you're going to go up to this tree, but is it going to break apart like it did, and you see the videos when they're all breaking down the land and stuff? It's just going to be a bunch of pixels that you pick up like in Minecraft or something that you put into your inventory, or if you hit a wolf and you need his leather, it's just going to be a little pixel of leather that's going to come out of him or something.
I wonder if your character could get splinters from that. I mean, there might be other hazards aside from spike traps.
Yeah.
And it occurs to me too, I talked about the whole treehouse in our last cast. If I build a treehouse on my
just chop down the tree.
Yeah, for real, what happens there? Am I totally screwed, and does my bar up in the treehouse go kaflooey? I need answers to this. This is very important. I hope the producers are considering these possibilities.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they have some griefing things in there that are going to stop people from doing that, but we'll see. We'll see. And so I remember, I don't know if either of you had played Vanguard, but
No, I played that.
Yes.
one of the things out of all of Vanguard that made my jaw drop was when I saw someone walk up to a tree and then chop it down, and the tree actually just fell over, and then you and then you chop the tree and get the wood from it and stuff. That was
Yep.
like to me, it's like your favorite thing from Vanguard, chopping down a tree. And so I was like, I hope something like that is in EverQuest. Like, how cool is that you just walk straight up to a tree and you get it? And so I look forward to it because unlike, like World of Warcraft or Rift or anything, or even EverQuest 2, you kind of walk up to these nodes. It's like, oh, there's this pile of lumber just sitting there. Okay, now you need to double click that and you get your lumber, or you double click this rock and you get the lumber. But in EverQuest Next, is it just going to be you see a tree and you chop it down, or you go into this mountain and you're looking for a gold vein, or you're looking for whatever metal you're looking for, and so you have to go down 7 levels for the best rare metal or something. And I really look forward to finding that out, because it's like you can spend your whole time just gathering materials in EverQuest Next and not even worry about combat too much, if that's
Maybe
what
it'll
you.
go. Maybe it'll
that'd
go
be
really
really-
in depth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Because
So
you think they're making a whole game off of these mechanics. Like, you have to go find the materials and you have to build them, and that's essentially what EverQuest Landmark's going to be, is getting the materials and gathering them. And so we're going to have a guild effort we're going to take down this whole mountain because we need more stone so we can build our guild hall or something, or we need to find gold so we can make Steelheart his throne or something.
we're not giving him a throne. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
He can deal with a nice chair.
Yeah, okay, nice chair.
Might or might not have a cushion.
Okay.
Ah,
It'll have the
He wouldn't want a throne anyway. Those things are uncomfortable.
it'll
lots
have
of
the
splinters.
Yeah. It'll have the death spikes in the level below, like we talked about.
Oh,
No.
jeez.
Yeah.
No. I would not do that. No.
Okay.
No. Nice chair.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And so we
You can sit at my bar.
well, the guild bar and the guild chair with splinters. All right.
Splinters. No. Though, Dash, if you get in there and you're just into cutting trees and stuff, every time I see you, I'm going to start singing the lumberjack song about he's a lumberjack and he's okay.
He's all night and he works all day.
Yep.
Thanks, you guys. Thank
Yep.
you. And so they talked about that there's still going to be roundtables talking about both games, but obviously the focus right now is Landmark, because that's what's coming next. And they also mentioned more short stories coming up. Have either of you had a chance to read any of the short stories they have up on EverQuestNext.com?
Not yet. Slacker. Sorry.
Yeah. I downloaded...
No, I was
Oh, go ahead.
I was really interested because he mentioned something in his announcement there about a dwarven thief affecting a new land that's coming out. So, when I heard that, I was like, oh, I'll have to go over and check that out, because that sounded pretty cool, actually. So,
Yeah.
one guy affecting the entire world I always like stories like that. I read Forgotten Realms books or something like that. It's like, oh, wow, I want to read the next one.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'm interested in that.
I know I need to finish the first one that I just started. I've only read like maybe 12 pages of it or something. And it's just like, it starts off literally like, we're in this epic battle and they're coming to destroy us. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got to finish it. But because of the way EverQuest Next is going to be, do you think it would be more important for everyone to know a little bit more about the lore? Because we're not necessarily going to be reading now in our games the quest text, but with the emergent AI and these events that are going to be happening in EverQuest Next, or you're going to be running out and pushing back the gnolls and they're not going to be there next time, is it going to be more important to know more about the lore so that when you walk into the world, you kind of know what's going on, and so the story just gets built on because of that? You don't have someone telling you, but you can actually just visualize it and see it. Do you think it's going to matter much?
I would hope it would matter. I would love to, the player is making the lore up as they go along. I think that's what we're searching for in these games, is we want we want the story to be about the player instead of, this is what's going on in the world. That I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. How about you,
I,
Leah?
well, I think Sony's really going into this knowing that their player base, for the most part, has an idea about what EverQuest is and its universe. There are dragons and there are places and it's fun and there are gnolls and you beat them up because they're bad. But I do think the gnolls would be helpful to at least know a little more about lore-wise, since they have been mentioned many times, as well as orcs.
Everybody
Of
loves orcs.
course. Yeah, they like beating them up. Or kill, baby. But yeah, I think the lore should be important to the player base as far as educating themselves a little bit. And every game tries to really incorporate the lore into their questing system and all that. And even if it's making your life easier in the game as far as knowing where to look for mobs based on lore, yeah, I hope it's important, and really hope they incorporate that. I hope people have to read. Look at that, skills. Um, I hope they make us utilize those and research a little and pay attention to the world they're making. They have a huge potential to add detail and make it more dynamic based on our own knowledge of a situation. If you walk up to a big old fight between elves and, say, barbarians, and you have no idea what's going on, you have no idea whose side to pick unless maybe you know the lore behind it.
Yeah.
I think it could be really important and a really fun way to involve the players, like Cannon mentioned.
Yeah, and especially like you mentioned, maybe the elves and the barbarians are fighting. Like if you're whether your character's evil or good is going to depend on decisions you make. So it's not like you're just going to run up in here and it's going to say your quest is to kill the barbarians or something. But you get to choose who you're going to support. And so, like you said, how you know who are you supposed to support if you don't know maybe the background behind them, and whether you like the elves.
That should have long-reaching consequences too. If you take the side of the elves, then the barbarians they see on sight, they're gonna kill you. Be prepared.
Exactly. Kill on sight. I really hope they have KOS races and everything where you can't go here, you can't go there, because it really adds to that dynamic of whether you're good or evil, and it just feels like EverQuest. Like that's how EverQuest to me feels is. It's a dangerous world, and so you just can't run everywhere, and everyone loves you even though if you're bad or good. And so I really hope they have that. And so they mentioned that like when you start off in the world, it's just essentially the first starting zone, and right now they said they're only going to have one. There is going to be Kinos, and Kinos is going to kind of like be this baby city.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
And so we might not have a Freeport or a Hollis or anything that yet. And so, even more so, the lore then, as you mentioned, Canon, is going to be important because there might be a quest that says, oh, we need to make Freeport. And so over the next month or two, we can decide whether we're going to make Freeport or not. And so it's definitely going to be a different game because they keep mentioning that if you leave the game for 6 months and you walk back in, you're not going to recognize the world because if you completed a few events, all of a sudden there's a new city or there's a Freeport or Kinos got torn down or it's like you never know. And so we hope the possibilities like that. That would be a really dynamic world to live in.
I'm just trying to imagine the idea of, you walk up and to Kinos and it's rubble. You'd be like, what happened?
Who trained Taquinos? Yeah, really.
That would be amazing.
So bad.
Yeah, I know. Okay. And so we hope it's that way. We don't know. There are going to be more news about EverQuest next, but right now we're just going to talk about Landmark, essentially, is what they're saying, because that's the next game coming out. So we'll see within the next couple of weeks of how the world's fleshed out for us in EverQuest next Landmark. But moving on to PAX Prime, they mentioned some things about the parkour, about the movement that they use in game. And so if you're not familiar with the movement that they were talking about using in EverQuest Next, they mentioned it when at SOE Live when they first revealed EverQuest Next. And so we have that video that it just explains what parkour was and what kind of traveling we'd see just in person, and so we'll show that video right now.
Now, we wanted to make sure that when you're moving around from point A to point B in the world, that it was a really fun experience. I mean, we do a lot of walking in these games because we're exploring all the time. So we wanted to make sure that that was a really, really exciting experience for you. So what we're doing is we're adding a parkour-like, what we call heroic movement system into the game. And that means that as you're moving through the world and you encounter a low obstacle, you can just sort of vault over the top of it without any effort, or slide down a hill, or be able to jump up and grab a ledge and pull yourself up, or rough and tumble off the top, maybe even a double jump in the air. And I don't want to just tell you about that, I want to actually show you. So let's revisit Jelena and Kishar as they go through the canyons of Ashfang. So there's that slide. She does a little double jump in the air. Here's that vault. You don't have to push any extra buttons for that. It just happens when you encounter them, so does the slide. Now, a lot of the different classes have special abilities that can be triggered. The wizard has a teleport ability. And the warrior can leap. All the different classes have different abilities. You can also gain items that allow you to have cool movement systems. This is the boots of the Zephyr, which allow them to glide through the air. Little flash. Watch the Karen now. That's his sprint.
So that's what we got to see about a month ago now. And what did you guys think about what did you your first reactions to the movement that's in EverQuest Next? How about for you, Ken, and maybe someone who's not all invested in EverQuest?
I like the movement of the Karen. I really liked how he was running around. The human, it looked a little, I don't know, like stick figurish to me when I first saw that, and just didn't feel natural to me. It was cool, the abilities that she had, the double jump in air, that's pretty cool, and then, but the teleport, I love the teleport thing. That was pretty cool. Boom!
Me too, I want that on the interstate like every day.
No kid.
Awesome.
I can't get by you. Boom!
Yeah, I like how everybody cheered on that part when she teleported forward, and so I was thinking of what's that one ability in World of Warcraft where as a mage you can teleport forward? It literally just goes like
blink.
That's
blink.
What it was.
Blink.
Yeah, you just kind of blink forward, but this one looks like so much more epic. Like you disappear into this ball and it's like explodes, and all of a sudden you jump forward. It's like the spell effects in this game are going to be awesome. And
yeah.
So they mentioned when you're running, you're going to kind of automatically jump over rocks and everything. Do you like that aspect of it, that it's just kind of like, oh, here's a rock, and so you're not going to get stuck on it, you're going to vault over it?
I do like that, because that's one of the most frustrating things when I think I'm playing. When I think I'm playing an MMO. Wow, I think I'm playing an MMO now. When I am playing an MMO, you run into an object, you don't run into it, you run through it. That's just like, seriously? You mean I just walked through that entire crate right there? Come on, guys, you can do better than that. At least this one, it's like, hey, I know it's there. Poop.
you poop? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, you go over and you poop. You let out a little gas. It happens.
I want to know, though, what happens if that rock has previously been completely destroyed by the Terra? Or, not Terra, I'm sorry, the Kara.
Karen.
I'm not awake. Hello. What if he just smushed that into mud because he didn't like the rock being up in his way? Does the wizard still think it's there, or have they fixed that so that they don't even worry about it now? I kind of like running into stuff and being stuck, because that at least involves a little bit of neuron firing on my part to have to, hit the jump key to get over it. And for those obnoxious little, I'm gonna bot people, you might get stuck on a rock, Sonny, huh?
Yep.
I'm all for that. That's cool. So they might find their own technical issues there. But I really like the teleportability. Seriously, if I could get around every slow moving tourist in my hometown like that, I'd be made. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, definitely. I like the boots of the Zephyr reminded me of having levitate in
Yep.
EverQuest 1, and you kind of just jump off the side and you just keep running and running and running, but you're just slowly floating down. And
Yep.
I think, like you mentioned, the Karen, what if he hit the rock? Like, are they
Yeah.
going to recognize that the rock is still there and just jump over nothing, or? But
She's gonna look real
but
silly.
I assume no, because you can just dig down into the ground, and so you're going to fall into that hole. And so if they have that kind of detection to where you're going to fall into this hole, I assume that everything in the world is going to have that same sort of detection, because it's all made out of the same voxels. So if you get rid of a voxel, then your character is not going to recognize that it's there. Hopefully.
That's gonna be pretty intensive if you think about that. You destroy something on your computer, you gotta send it out to the people around you. That's gonna affect their gameplay. That's really gonna take a lot of work to. Wow, I can't even think about it.
That's what they were
Yeah.
saying is probably the hardest part about EverQuest Next, and the destructibility is that same thing, is how much processing power it's going to take to, like, okay, this voxel's gone, and so every single person's going to have to know that voxel's gone instantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are they going to do that? I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
lag,
yeah,
lag.
exactly. But if they can figure it out and make it run smooth, then maybe that's why EverQuest Landmark's coming out first, because it's going to smooth all that out before EverQuest Next comes out.
Mhm.
So
I'm betting you don't have Boots of the Zephyr though in EverQuest's next landmark. Bummer.
No crouching tiger, hidden dragon for you.
Dang.
So
I
that,
seriously wanted to use my katana on some trees.
you never know. You might see people running in the trees with their Boots of the Zephyr and everything, and then
Oh, that'd be crazy.
yeah.
What are they doing? How do I do that?
You know what? Now, that just made me excited for this. I wasn't too excited about the parkour, but running in the trees like Crouching Tiger. Okay. Kenan,
And I want to know
you
what
guys
happens
told
when
me.
you hit a wall. Do you stop? Does your character go like? What do they do?
What if you have a lot of armor on? Will you just make a hole into the wall or something? Or
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. What if Canon is playing an angry Terran and he like does the whole bull thing and is all choo choo on through there? What happens? Do you go through the wall? Do you have to have your pick in your hand? And I mean, does your character automatically get mad at the wall and start kicking that thing?
what if you're
what
doing a
happens?
whirlwind in the air, and then so you just go straight through the wall?
I have this image of Wile E. Coyote. Just getting launched off the Acme catapult into the wall.
Yeah. So then you'd have like a rocket mount. You'll have that little rocket, and you just go straight into the wall. They got to make it rocket mount. So that was That was just their first incarnation of this parkour, but they said they went crazy with it over the past few weeks, up to PAX and Gamescom. And so we have this next video. It doesn't have any sound, but it just shows a little of the progress that they've made so far with the parkour. And so here's that video. It was pretty extreme. It goes from just barely hopping over stuff to like doing backflips and twisting and backflipping and
Yeah, that's getting pretty Laura Croft on me.
It
Yeah.
is. The only problem that I had with that video was the part where she flips and then her back hits the rocks and then she just bounces up and goes over it like no problem. So do you like maybe it looked like a more extreme version of the parkour, or would you rather have it toned down a little?
I say tone it down.
Yeah.
You said it earlier. Before we started. It reminds me of DC Universe. You hit that one right on the head. It's too superhero-ish. It's not. You've gone beyond hero to superhero, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And so oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. If those were super high level abilities, after your character has become monk extraordinaire and can slide on her back along rocks and not give a hoot, that's one thing. But it really bam, Tomb Raider for me. I expected her to pull out 2 pistols and start shooting a tiger any minute then.
Would that be a bad
Well,
thing?
for real.
Would that be a bad thing?
Yeah, tigers are cool, and
Tigers are cool.
yeah.
Okay.
You heard it here first, guys. Tigers are cool.
Tigers are cool. And we're out.
But really, it was a little overdone for me there, especially the backflipping like a gymnast. I mean, seriously, this isn't the Olympics. I'm running around some rocks, yo.
Yeah, she just went up a hill and also like did this super backflip, and I was like, "What did that accomplish? She didn't go anywhere." She just
Yeah, I mean, really.
yeah,
You almost gave yourself a concussion. Go team!
yeah.
It did look cool.
It did look cool because they and so I was wondering, is it like EverQuest and EverQuest 2 where like everything you did in the game you leveled up in? So if when you're level 1 and you jumped in the water, you swam all slow. So and so you had to be, I got skill number 1 or skill up 2, skill up 3, going swimming. Is that going to be the same thing with running? Like you run into a rock and first you run into it because you're not that skilled at parkour.
You trip over and land on your face. Oh!
Yeah. So you have to be a master runner or something, master parkour or whatever to skill up. And so I thought it was a little extreme, but a funny thing they did mention there will be mounts at Gamescom, which there better be. You gotta have a game with mounts. Like, how can you play a game without mounts? It's like you want something to work towards. But they mention that mounts will have some degree of parkour, like the characters. What do you think about mounts doing parkour?
Most of them can jump in any game. I mean, I've been trying Final Fantasy, for example, and the giant chicken thing can hop. And
that's not
little
parkour.
hops, you know. I think it'll be neat. I don't know how you're going to get a horse over certain rocks if it automatically does a pretty flying leap. Cool. If they have that horse, though, fly up into the air and backflip all Lara Croft, except I'm a horse now style, going all Super My Little Pony or something, I don't think I'd like that. So, we'll see. Now, if it's a giant monkey or something and kill him, don't get too excited. If it's a giant monkey and it, like, grabs tree limbs and stuff and swings you around, okay, that's pretty sweet. That's cool right there. But
this is just reminding me of like Indiana Jones or something, with the Shia LaBeouf.
I just see Kill him run along, just riding his monkey along like a monkey, like a monkey. Just, oh jeez. Oh god.
Okay, I hope they're listening because now we need monkey and gorilla mounts.
Yeah.
So that we could be swinging in the trees with the parkour, running in the trees with the samurai swords and everything. This is totally not going to be EverQuest.
Yeah.
I hope they do parkour because, I mean, I've always wanted realistic mounts, so that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Liette.
All good. All good. I'm just having ideas about the monkey and some bananas. If you're going through the trees and stuff, get you a banana.
It's a banana on a stick.
So even now,
that'd be a good way to make the monkey run.
Yeah.
Banana on a stick out in front of the monkey.
Yeah. They actually had that. They had that item in World of Warcraft where you got a carrot on a stick, right?
Yep.
And so you got your faster mount, or faster mount speed. So maybe they'll have banana on a stick for the monkeys that they have not announced for this game.
That would just be too sweet.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So now on I don't know if this was supposed to be a lighter note, but I didn't know we were going to talk about monkeys going through trees as mounts. But that sounds pretty sweet. So if anybody,
free ideas, devs.
Yeah.
There you go.
We need to tweet it out. Monkeys, EverQuest next, please.
Go.
Imagine you're. We're going to talk about the Karen now, and so imagine the Karen riding a monkey. So, but a random question.
Weird.
Was, do we like the new look of how the Karens look? And so I'm going to show the picture of the Karens in EverQuest 1. That's what they looked like first.
See, it's a tiger. They're cool. I told you they're cool.
It's like a man tiger.
Yes,
Well,
I
still.
agree with you there.
Yeah. And then in EverQuest 2, they kind of look the same. Just upgraded graphics, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That was very unique in EverQuest too.
Yeah.
Gotta hand it to you.
Yep.
Really unique.
Change the fur. And now, EverQuest Next. What do you guys think?
Well.
What do you guys think of Simba?
That just hurts. Show them the other one.
Okay, so there's the real picture. And what do you guys think of the new models? Do you think it's a good direction? Do you think it's better? Or would you rather have the more human-like?
I like
Well-
the body. I like the bulked
Yeah.
up guy. I hate the head though. You know, it's like they're trying too hard. You know, I wish they had the head from EQ2. I really do.
But then,
Next.
But you mentioned you liked how it ran. So would it look
Yes.
funny if would it look funny if he didn't look more animal-like?
Boy,
Well,
I don't know.
It's a warrior-based run, not necessarily based on the race. From what I understood, he was doing warrior moves, not just, hey, I'm a Karen. I'm gonna do tiger things running.
Well, what if he had like an elf warrior though? Is he gonna run like that on all fours?
Probably not.
No, no.
Point.
So yeah, so I kind of like the new look because it's just changing it up. More people like the more what would you say, stylized graphics, and because you look at the EverQuest 1 photos and you can see it all pixelated and everything, and in EverQuest 2 if you look at screenshots now, you can tell it's going to be a little aged, but I think that look will probably last a little longer within the years rather than I guess the more realistic look going for it. So we'll see. Any other thoughts?
Well, I like the direction they're taking the art. I like that a game looks like a game and not I guess a good way to put it is Star Trek again, because in Star Trek everybody was a human with a little different head or tail.
Yeah,
But
that was
tail was
everybody's
really
annoying.
Yeah, and I felt like the graphics in EQ2 are gorgeous and they're going to last a long time because they made them to last. There is that level of fantasy that really, really pushes you into a game and makes you feel like it's really a different universe. And the Karen, as it's portrayed there, one, the art direction's good. I mean, if they're going to go that way, they went all the way. And with the head and the expressions and the roaring and running on all fours, you're right, he was running on all fours. That really, really brings you into the world in a totally different way than, oh, well, this is a human thingy with lots of makeup
Thingy.
and some fur. You know?
Grr, baby, grr.
Yeah. So, I like it. I think it's good. Keep it up.
Okay.
I want to see the Ratonga, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see other races. I
Yeah.
really do. Release me races. Give me race.
And we've seen
I-
some pictures, but that's not the same thing as seeing, my little hottie elves up there, so I can have somebody else tell my character that she has a nice rack. We got to see more. So not too much more, but you know what I mean.
Okay.
I can just see Whoop now. He'd be standing over here. What are you doing here? I'm just getting free gear. Look at all the stuff I got.
Well, I want to thank you guys for
No, thank you.
the nice
Yeah,
discussion.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Cannon. Thank you, Liette. And I'm Dash.
Thank you, Dash.
Yeah. And so we want to invite everyone every Wednesday night. Hopefully, we'll have this cast up at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so every Wednesday, we'll have the EverQuest Next podcast. You can follow us at Grievance Gaming on Twitter. And also, if you are interested in being part of the EverQuest Next Guild, you can go to grievancegaming.org if you are interested. And so we want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night.
Good night, folks. Hakuna Matata. It's a wonderful world.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it goes. Good try.
I know. It's a good try. I know I like to watch my Disney all night.